Okay, we are on part 2 of editing, copywriting, and getting a professional editor of your book. And we are on the professional editing part. As I was saying in the video before, most editors, if not all, will let you know how long generally, and it's not going to be a specific time, but generally how long it's going to take for them to return that book back. If they say 3 weeks, give them 3 weeks before you start bothering them on, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? And if they don't, after 3 weeks, when you're like by the third or fourth day, if they don't give you a, report on where they're at, then you can contact them and say, hey, I just want to know, is everything okay? Once you get that book back, for the most part, they're going to ask you to read it and check it out, because they're going to make a lot of changes to it that you didn't even think, or sometimes they may have questions about what you wrote. And so now you need to take the time to reread your book and look at all the additions. My editor sent me 2 copies. He sent me a regular copy of the edition, and then he sent me a copy with annotations in it, where he showed me what he changed and where he changed it, what it used to be and what he changed it to. And if he had any questions, he put it in there, and I changed whatever needed to be changed. Once you're done, finished reading it, and you've you've okayed it, now is the next step, which is publishing, which we'll talk about that next week. But what I would suggest, though, if you did have someone look at it before you had a professional editor look at it, once the professional editor is done with it and you've reread it and you're done with it, have that person look at it again, if they're okay with that. Because if this is volunteer work, you got to understand that they may not have the time and want to. However, even if it is a friend, it wouldn't hurt for you to give them a nice thank you gift, if they will accept that. Again, this is on this second video, well, the first and 2 videos on editing, copywriting, and editing. And again, I talked about why I did it in this order. However, you do not have to do it in this order. You can edit it yourself, find someone else to edit it, and then get a professional editor and then copyright it. That's completely up to you. But like I said, I copyright it in the middle just in case, they take it and run. And again, I was talking about copywriting, why you should do it with the government. It's copyright.gov, because copywriting is insurance. That's all it is. It's just in case someone should steal your work, you have evidence. And copywriting through the government is the only evidence they accept in the courtroom. They don't accept poor man's copyright. You can do your own research as to why they choose not to accept poor man's copyright, but for the most part, it's not accepted, so you need to do it through the government. It's $35 online. And I said $50 if you mail it in, but honestly, I don't know if that changed, because I haven't done it through mailing since, I'm going to say, I think 2009 was the last time I did it through the mailing. So it could have changed by now, I don't know. But like I said, it's not difficult to do it online, and they do have a phone number you can call if you should have some problems, some issues. And I've only had to call once or twice, and I never was on hold for long. So I would of course suggest you do it in the morning if you can, if you're able to do that. But like I said, it's not too difficult to do it online, but I highly suggest you copyright it. Alright, that's it for this video on editing, copywriting, and editing. Next week we're going to be discussing, I'm not completely sure, I believe we're going to be discussing the 3 different ways to publish your book. There are 3 different ways, and there are 3 different options. I'm going to discuss them all, but I'm going to go mostly into detailed self-publishing, because that's what I do. I haven't done the other 2 ways, so I don't know too much about them, but I know enough where I can give you the most information you need to decide whether you want to do self-publishing or possibly the other 2 ways. There is no such thing as, in my opinion, there's no such thing as which way is better. There's only a such thing as which way is better for you, because depending on what you want to do as far as work, because after you start publishing your book, depending on how you publish it, depends on what work you do. And depending on what you want to do as far as the work, depends on which publishing option is best for you, not what's public publishing is best overall in general, but it depends specifically on your lifestyle and how you're living, whether you're married and have children, whether you're single, whether you know, what your financial situations are. That all determines on which option you believe is best. And in that moment, you make your decision. Now, what I will highly suggest, because once we get into these other ways of publishing, you really, by the time you start publishing your book, want to have at least 3 books complete. And so while you're waiting for the copyright to come in, while you're waiting for your editor to edit, while you're waiting for, if you decided to have someone else edit it, whether it's a teacher, a professor, or a friend, while you're waiting, that's the perfect time to start on your next book. And like I said on my previous videos, the best way to get ideas is to live life. If you know, if you don't have pen and paper with you, you know, I believe now those phones, you can record stuff in them. If not, buy one of those little recording devices and talk into it when you get an idea, so that way you don't forget the idea. But live life, go out and walk, go to the park, you know, just do things and get ideas, because you really want to have books ready to go. You don't want to be, you know, get that book deal and then, you know, they ask you to have 5 books and now you got to quickly get together 5 books, and you don't want to do that. And so in this, the waiting period of waiting for a copyright to come in and waiting for your editors to edit, those are perfect times to start writing your second book or your third book, you know. And so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Next week we're going to be discussing the different options on publishing, and I'll see you next week. Have a great Monday or a great day, whichever day you're on watching this. Goodbye.